On today's episode of Anime Afterthought, Made in Abyss Season 2, Episode 3, Village of the Hollows. Made in Abyss has made it emphatically clear that it doesn't care whether you're an adult or child, no one is safe. And that doesn't just pertain to horrific acts such as pedophilic rape and torture. The Abyss also tackles abstract concepts that in the last 50,000 years since humans gained the capacity for language, we are still unable to answer. What is the value of life? Alas, Iroboro, the Village of Hollows was able to answer this question. Much like I surmised last week, this is a village comprised primarily of Narihata. But unlike Nanachi, whose transformation happened at the ritual site, theirs took place in this village and they seem to be forever linked to this area, unable to leave. And as of right now, I gotta say, the inhabitants are the least interesting thing about this city. I mean, don't get me wrong, learning that the Hollows' current appearance are a reflection of their past selves' former desires is very interesting, but to witness a sentient city being the arbiter to determine and then balance intrinsic values is fucking beyond. I mean, it's the Abyss, so what the fuck should I expect, right? But the market scene was so out of left field and just left me feeling uneasy, because not only did they depict that little pink goober monster with a child's mentality, to see everything they have saved their entire life garnished from them in a perceived unbalancing of values, but to compensate for the staggering difference in overall worth, its body was used as compensation. To see that little goober get ripped apart and its body being sold off in chunks is both horrific yet relatable. We live in a day and age where it seems everything is for sale if there's enough zeros in that check. Let's not forget that the incident was based solely on Riku's perceived acquired worth and menya. Physical items are easy to ascertain their value. My Xbox is worth more than my toothbrush, but what happens if that toothbrush was owned by Abraham Lincoln or was a gift from my dead grandfather? There is some kind of value in everything, and yet the city itself seems to take Riku's word that menya was priceless. And in that shining but very brief moment, given the fact that she's laying in poop seconds after the incident, I think the look on Riku's face spells personal accountability. She has been very naive, borderline ignorant, to which some theorize could possibly be on the spectrum throughout the entirety of the series, but in that moment she was able to recognize that her knee-jerk reaction, her proclamation of menya being priceless, has led to someone, their own life, being forfeited. And it's a scary thought. What if someone were to deem Riku as having no value? And although Kaja's words of wisdom seems to put the group at ease, insinuating that their value was so high no one dare mess with them, this only pertains to inside the city, because the outside is an entirely different beast, or hollow. Actually, princess of the hollows. Yes, wrapping up today's episode, which once again we see Riku's naivety get the best of her as she is currently shitting her guts out for imbibing what passes for human food in the 6th layer, as a disturbance is taking place at the front of the city in the form of Faputa, the Princess Hollow, and her robot attaché? Yeah, let's talk about this final scene. So first and foremost, I'm assuming that this is the mysterious entity that has been surveilling the group, the one responsible for stealing Prushka in the first place and selling it, trading it, whatever, to Iroboro, because we learn inside the city theft is frowned upon, but outside it's fair fucking game. But yeah, this entity seems to be another Narihata, this one closer in resemblance, or at least more humanoid like Nanachi. I am assuming due to what to me is an obvious clear cut to the little tribal girl they picked up at the beginning of their journey. This is her. Now once again, we don't know exactly when this was. This is way before the establishment of Orth yet after the discovery of the abyss itself, so I'm assuming centuries have passed, but once again, we have to remember what Ozen said, that the deeper you go into the abyss, time seems to flow a little bit differently, so centuries to everyone else could be weeks or months to them. Not to mention, these are Narihata, they're hollow like Mike, who was, you know, indestructible, so immortality or longevity wouldn't necessarily be so far-fetched. But yeah, that quick cut to the flashback just to me screams that this is the same girl. Speaking of flashback though, Ganja has made it to the 6th layer, the Golden City, and they are confronted, much like Reg, with robots. 4, in fact, that have a similar appearance to the one that Fapida is standing on, who seem to be trying to ascertain what these beings are, as well as trying to learn their language. At least that's what Beloff believed, as they are taken deeper into what the robots themselves consider the Golden City, and then are soon accosted by a multi-headed, Hydra-esque, tentacled-looking motherfucker. Once again, this is the Abyss, and the realization that after all they have done, all they have been through, I mean, once again, I have to fucking restate this: rape, torture, losing several, if not dozens of vessels, going through the actual abyss itself, that maybe the Golden City is not their salvation. That look on Valko's face at the end is her coming to that conclusion. I gotta say, today's episode, while once again showcasing that this series is dark, was fucking good, giving us a glimpse on how the Abyss views an abstract concept like value, to learning that Riku has an ability to communicate with Prushka, who seems to be okay with the denizens of Iroboro turning her into a whistle, to the possibility that we may finally have the first step into discovering what and who Reg really is, with the enormous reveal of there are other sentient robots living in the Abyss. Not to mention the other reveals, like the truth behind the symbol left on the image, as well as the Narihata's bodies being the reflection of their past desires. There is so much fucking going on, and you guys said it's gonna get even worse. You guys literally got 2 different fucking comments on last week's video. If you thought this was bad, just wait. Exact words: Bondrude was an angel compared to what's gonna fucking happen. I said that motherfucker was giving Shao Tucker a run for his fucking money, and you guys said he's a goddamn angel. What the fuck? What the fuck? And yet we head deeper into the Abyss. Like I said, I love this fucking series. It is just fucking good. I'm enjoying myself watching it, but the bigger question is, are you? I mean, today's episode, did you hate it? Did you love it? Do you want some more of it? Well, I definitely do. So with all that being said and more, Made in Abyss next week. I honestly cannot wait for future episodes.